and we are going to be playing the Beat the Coach today. And Rohan is a student of mine, ex-student of mine, kind of student of mine, from Catalina Foothills High School here in Tucson, Arizona. And he's going to be providing commentary, and I'm going to ask him suggestions during the match and see if he can give some good suggestions. And we encourage you guys to challenge to make sure you log on to the ChessKid site and be ready to play when it's time. Because if we try to challenge you and you're still playing a game, we may not be able to play you. Rohan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Get some good commentary.
Excellent. Are you going to be a graduate as of today?
As of 12 o'clock actually, in 1 hour, I will be.
Oh my gosh! So it's really going to happen.
It's really going to happen. It's going to be all online though, but it'll happen.
Yeah. And what are you graduating in?
Physiology. So the physio graduation is at 12, and then the bigger graduation for everyone for the whole college is at 6 tonight.
Oh, you have two graduations in one day, huh?
Yeah, I do. So that'll be pretty fun.
Excellent. And Rohan, you're attending the University of Arizona here.
Yep.
And you're
this is my last year.
Your last year in as an undergrad, right?
As an undergrad, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And then so
that's awesome.
Pretty exciting.
And you're looking for students here in the local area?
I still am, yeah. So if anyone is interested, or if you know someone that is, then I would be happy to start coaching.
Okay. Well, I've been told that there's too many of me on the screen, so I have to adjust my screen. Okay.
Yeah, it does look like that. You can just adjust your face though to the screen.
We'll just cover that. Is that better now?
Yeah. There's only two of you now.
Only two of me. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. We got to move this on to. We got to move the Skype. Hold on one second. Let's see what we got here. The peanut gallery is making fun of me via text right now, so that's okay. We're gonna move this over. Okay, so let's see if we can actually get this correct, and we'll move this over.
That's better, I think. I think that's good now. Oh, yeah, got it.
Is that good now?
Yeah. So minimize OBS.
All right.
Oh no, it's like there's still like two of you. There's like a smaller version of you.
And now, how about now?
Okay, that's fine now.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so minimize this baby. All right, so as I said, we want to thank the Southern Arizona Chess Association for having us on the call today, and I want to thank Rohan in advance, our new college graduate. So make sure that that you give him some good wishes, and also. I think Rohan's looking for students here locally, so if you do have some students, you can go ahead and contact Rohan. Rohan, what's your email address?
So my email is rmittal41@email.arizona.edu.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's RMITTAL 41.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the chat. I just saw it.
All right, great. That's fantastic. All right, good. And so let me just make sure that I gotta mute this baby.
Oh, we got a lot of people again today.
I know. Yeah, I got a good, very good turnout. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Yep.
We do appreciate that. And I gotta turn this on, mute this. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with some games today. And let's go. I always try to pick someone we haven't played before. I don't think Alex 3610. So we're going to go ahead and start this, and we're going to play. Rohan, what opening do you want to start with today?
Are you white, or have you started the game?
Huh?
Have you started the game yet?
Not yet. What opening you want to start with though?
I don't know. Whatever you want.
All right. So what opening do you love to play here, Rohan? What's your absolute favorite line to play?
Well, I mean, I've played the Carol Con like for a while now, but
Uh-huh.
I'm starting to play like the Scandinavian,
Uh-huh.
the Queen D6 line.
All right. You want to?
So
Why don't we mix it up a little bit? We'll go back to your old roots in honor of you graduating from college today.
let's do it.
All right.
Can't
So,
wait.
Rohan, most kids are not taught to bring your queen out so early. Why is why is that kind of risky to do?
So the main problem is that it can be attacked pretty easily, like with knight c3, for example, in this position.
Uh-huh.
So you don't really want to let your opponent have too many tempos, but for some reason it works in this opening. So I've tried it a couple times.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play this. And then this is a little bit on the advanced side, but the correct move, well, the move that everybody plays here is knight to c3. But actually, the correct move here, I think, is a c4 to gain some space and then play knight c3. So, what's the downside of playing a move like b3? You think, Rohan?
I think you don't really need to do it. I think you already have the diagonal for your dark square bishop, like the c1 to h6.
Yeah,
So and it also just weakens some dark squares around the queen side.
yeah. Do you
So
think? Can you guess? I have my guess as to why White played this move b3.
uh, hmm. Probably go bishop b2, c4, d5 ideas.
Yeah, he might try that. Although I think White
Some
might be
point.
just thinking he can play bishop c4 and kick the queen. And the problem is that queen is this pawn on g2 is not defended. So, all right,
Okay.
we're gonna play
Maybe.
c5. Rohan, what tactic does that set up?
Um, where did it set up?
If he had taken the pawn, what would I have done?
So yeah, if he takes on c5, then you have the fork,
Yeah, I could have.
queen e5.
If he
So
had taken
very
here,
tricky.
we could have had queen e5, and that rook is undefended. So in chess, one of the things that I want you guys to always look at is when you're playing, always pay attention to pieces that are not defended, and that when you open up lines, this can be a little bit of a problem. So, yeah, my opponent played here, so we're going to go ahead and take here. And now this rook is on pre. So White only has one defensive move, and what is that, Rohan?
So that was queen f3.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And so Queen F3 actually saves the rook. It does force a queen trade, right?
yeah. So I guess you would get just a pawn out of that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a pretty important pawn because now White's going to have a lot of pawn islands on h2, f2.
Yeah. So unfortunately, White didn't
It's
see the resource of Queen F3, so he got in a little bit of trouble there. So okay. So yeah, Queen F3 would have been a better move in that situation. And now, of course, we're threatening to take this knight. And one of the things I want to point out to you is that normally you don't want your queen to go on these little excursions and try to take every single thing that's in front of it. But here, when it's free and your king is safe like it is here, it's not so bad. So, all right. So I could be my queen out and stuff if I want to, but you know what we're gonna do? How about we just play here and just take a pawn? Because
I
now
like it.
if he takes here, what happens?
I think you can take the knight. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little greedy. Are you greedy, Rohan, in chess? Are you greedy?
I love pawns. Like you know me.
Yep.
If there's a pawn, I'm taking it.
Yeah, okay. All right. So now, because we're ahead in material, we're going to go ahead and trade down.
So also, I think this is okay for black because white doesn't really have any pieces to attack black's king. It's just a queen, and it's gonna be really hard to checkmate that way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, these guys are loose. All right, so give it a little check. We're going to move our king over. So now our king is much more safe. And if he checks us again, we can hide in the corner, and then there's no way he can get us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and in chess, all it takes sometimes is making that one mistake, and that one mistake can cause you to make another mistake. And sometimes you're not even making another mistake, it's just sometimes your position collapses. There's nothing you can do about it. So, all right, so he's going for a checkmate, or to take this rook would go for mate. So what would you consider to be the a candidate move here, Rohan?
I was looking at Queen D1 to try to get White's king out in the open some more.
And what's the other advantage of playing Queen D1?
So also guards the rook, so you don't really have to move it anywhere and waste the tempo.
Right, exactly.
So,
all right,
and you can bring your other knight in now, maybe, if you want to.
Yeah, we can. I think knight D5 here check forks the king and the queen, and unfortunately, White's in big trouble here. So this game is almost over. So make sure that whoever we're ready to play the next round you finished your game. So we'll be able to start pretty promptly. Okay. So I don't see. I see. I think we have mate in 2. Well, we have mate in 2 here. 3 actually. No, not 2. Rohan, what's the finishing move?
It's knight d5.
Yeah, knight to d5 check. Okay. Good game, Alex. 3610.
Game.
Make sure you develop all your pieces next time. And we're going to go back and play the next group. Don't challenge us because we only can play 5 minutes right now to try to get as many people in as we can. And we're going to go for... oh my gosh, everyone's challenging us. We're going to go... I think we're going to go with cork taco. I have no idea what a cork taco is, but we're going to try it. Cork taco, you are on. Cork taco. Cork taco. Okay, cork taco is
busy.
Is probably doing some business meeting, I'm going to guess. So we're going to go for Tiny Sparkly Frog is still playing. So we'll go back. Let's see. Thin Sudden Cow. Ooh. I'm not sure what the significance of a sudden cow is. Like a thin cow.
It's a sudden though.
It's sudden. It became thin all of a sudden. Ha! All right. So we're going to go.
All right,
let's not. Oh, Leaping Fireman. Who's that? Come on, Leaping Fireman. Leaping Fireman. Oh my gosh, who is going to play us? Greasy Aluminum.
Oh, desperate.
Greasy Aluminum. Greasy Aluminum. Let's play, buddy. Okay. Frozen Earthquake is not available to play. Oh, here's Cork Taco. All right, Cork Taco, how is it going? Please provide all of your... Okay, so he's playing the Sicilian. Now, Rohan, what do you like to play against against the Sicilian, I should say?
So you actually just said it. I love to play the open Sicilian.
Yeah,
because it has lots of tactics.
Yeah, but last night in a game that I was watching, you did not play the open Sicilian. What happened?
Did you I don't know. I thought you just play some line because I know I'm your former student, so you know everything that I know basically. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. You can blame that if you want to. It's okay. All right. So Cork Taco, we're going to play what's called the Smith-Morra Gambit. Okay. And so, Rohan, what's a gambit? What's the purpose of playing a gambit?
So
why did I just lose a pawn for nothing?
Well, because now you have at least some compensation. You have some good development. Your bishops are open to move out, and yeah, I mean it's just like you gambit a pawn to get like a positional advantage.
Right. You have more development, and then you notice that we have better control of the center, and we have more space. Okay. Mm-hmm. So yes, interesting. Yes, interesting. Cork Taco. All right. So A6. So he's He's trying to maybe play for B5 at some point. So he's got to be a little careful here. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to follow the rules because we always follow the rules. All right. So Rohan, do you see any tricks here?
Yeah, I think Queen D5 should win an exchange because it forks the checkmate on F7 and the rook on A8.
So Queen D5 is one possibility. Or what do you always do when you're looking at stuff? You can also look at changing the move order and maybe taking here first, right?
Yeah. You can do that way too.
Well, I just want to bring the king out, make him lose
So you
his
want to
castling
pawn?
privileges. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go here. And so now the king is out. And so the only downside, Rohan, what's the only downside of bringing my queen down and taking the rook on a8 here? What's the downside of that?
So it actually might get trapped
Yeah,
momentarily, like with knight c6.
yeah, we got to be
Um,
careful about that, don't we?
yeah, I think it might be okay,
Yeah, I
but
think it's
it does
okay
look a little
too, but
scary.
it is don't just take don't take something in the corner without really calculating this. Now, in truth, I did calculate this, albeit pretty quickly, and this looks like I'm okay. Now, if he was going to try to trap my queen, what would he play exactly? Knight c6. Good move, Cork Taco. And so, what would be his next two moves to try to trap me?
I think probably queen c7 and the bishop b7
Yeah, got to be a little careful of
is
that, don't
planned.
we?
So
So, Cork Taco is being very tricky here. So, I think we're gonna play bishop to f4, and I think that what that does is it prevents the queen from going to c7. And normally queen b6 and bishop b7 would accomplish the same thing, but what's the problem with that, Rohan?
so the bishop on c8 is going to be hanging.
Yeah.
So well, actually, because I'm kind of continuing the calculation with queen b6. So queen takes c8 and then knight f6.
Uh-huh.
Your queen is actually still not trapped because you have queen c7 at the end.
Yeah. And one of the things actually that one of the things that I used as a term a long time ago, you see these pawns here? They're all on, what do they all have in common? They're all
On
on
light
what?
squares.
Yeah, and so what does that mean? The dark squares are weak, right? Yeah, I call this the
Yep.
Swiss cheese.
It's
Basically,
just chooses
there's just weaknesses all over the place. Okay?
too many holes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what Black did the logical thing here, which is to develop his pieces, and now all of a sudden Queen B6 is a concern. So we got to make sure that we don't get in trouble here. So what would you play to get your queen out of there? Do you think? Any
Uh,
ideas?
I was thinking about knight g5 first. So because I think black wants to maybe get rook f8 in and then king g8. So if you go knight g5 first, then the king has to make a decision to go to the back rank and
Uh
block
huh.
the rook, or e7 and kind of stay in the center.
But how am I going to get my queen out? Like he has an immediate threat of queen b6 and bishop b7. So how do I get out of that?
Um, well, you can go knight e5 and
Yeah,
trap him.
I think knight e5. Don't try to be too cute in these type of positions. I mean, maybe knight g5 works, but let's go ahead and get rid of this guy because he's the one guy that's hitting these two dark squares that we're a little concerned of. And so once he
It's
takes the knight, which he's going to have to do, then I've got queen b8 and queen to d6 or queen to c7, and my bishop is guarding my queen. So I think that's a good way. So one of the lessons I want you guys to learn out of this is that just because you're up material, don't fall asleep because you could easily get trapped. Very, very easily trapped.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you still have to be a little careful because there's pawn d6,
Yeah.
and then after that, then queen c7.
Uh-huh. So if he had played d6, though, can I play queen a7 check and get out that way?
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, that's true. You could queen
Yeah.
a7, queen e3.
So now he again is threatening bishop to b7, which traps my queen. So I actually have to either I could play bishop takes knight and then e5 and sack a pawn, but I think the safest thing to do is just simply to play queen b8 and save my queen because now I've got two squares I can go to with my queen and I can still get out.
Yep, because those dark squares are
Yeah.
really weak.
So even the lesson to learn here is even though I had to move my even though we had to move our queen and over to a8 and we got up the exchange, you cannot sleep because you could easily get trapped here. Okay, so now we're going to save. We're going to play a... Oh, knight e8's a threat here. Those backward moves. I could actually lose a piece if I'm not careful. Ha! Okay, not very tricky, very tricky.
Good trick, yeah.
Very tricky. Yeah, chess is so complicated. You have to be so careful and not make sure you don't fall for some of these tricks. So let's see what Cork Taco has in store for us. All right, so one of the things is my knight's well placed, my queen's well placed, my bishop's well placed. So what's next, Rohan?
I would say try to get rooks in the game, like rook d1.
Yeah.
Maybe target d7.
Yeah. And you see how that pawn is stuck behind this guy? So now he really has no way to ever move the d pawn. So now this is what we call, d6 square is what we call a hole. So he's going to try to move it. He's trying to castle by hand, if you will. So we're going to go ahead and play a little more aggressively here. And we're running a little on time. And so we got to make sure we go after white here, or go after black. So what we're trying to do here is now that all of our pieces are on good squares, you see how I made use of this rook on f1? There's a pawn on f4. I want to play f5. And now I'm using this rook. I'm using this rook and this rook. These guys are all well placed. Okay? If you're only attacking with one piece, that's always a recipe for disaster. Okay? So make sure that you make aggressive moves. Okay. So that loses a piece, it looks like. But I know what he's trying for. He's going to try to go for queen h4 and go for a checkmate. But, Rohan, if he played queen h4, what would we do to stop it?
I think h3 is like pretty much forced.
Well, right? I don't think it's forced. We could play bishop e5 too, right?
I guess you come back, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to make sure that we don't fall asleep at the wheel and allow some checkmate. Okay. And so now we're up some material here, and so even though black lost material early in the game, don't fret. Just because you lose material, you got to fight. And here our opponent Cork Taco tried to create some chances for his own by trying to trap my queen. So that's always a good thing to do. And now what are we threatening, Rohan?
So you're threatening to just go rook takes f7 and queen g7.
So he moved queen e8, and I'm going to play, what's the logical move now?
So rook f1 is like kind of automatic.
Yeah, it is.
Get another piece in the game to attack.
Yep. All right. All right, so here it's just a matter of making sure you see these 15.4 seconds. We got to make sure that we don't flag here. So what's my idea behind bishop g5, Rohan? What do you think?
So I think you're trying to go bishop h6 and threaten rook f8 and queen g7.
Yeah, those are both pretty lethal. Pretty lethal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so he's defending, but unfortunately, when you're down material, it makes it a little bit more difficult to defend because you don't have as many pieces to defend with. All right, so good game, Cork Taco. And we're going to go to the next person. And TBD. That's a new one. I definitely do not know this person. TBD, we're going to play. Yes, I love playing new people. TBD, welcome to ChessKid. That's to be determined, or we have no idea. Maybe that means something else. So, all right, we're going to play knight f6. And Rohan, you know what we're going to play here? Hello. We're going to play c5. we're going to take you back to your old. Okay, so our opponent's going to then go back to a Kali system. So the Kali system is when white plays a structure like this. The bishop typically goes to d3 or e2, and so this is not an exciting line, right, Rohan?
Yeah, I don't really play this as black, but yeah, I guess it looks like a reverse Catalan, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Our opponent's playing very quickly here, probably trying to intimidate us, I would say. What do you think?
Maybe he knows we're streaming, so you're gonna move a little slower. So
All right. Well.
sneaky.
All right. So basically, we've our it's safe to say that our opponent is a good player here. They've put all of their pieces on natural squares. Okay. And what's happened here so far is that each side has developed all of their pieces. White's playing very logically here. White's getting all of his pieces out and stuff. And so the question is, how do I proceed in a game like this? So we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to play Rook C8, and so basically we've developed all of our pieces. But is there a pawn break for either side that looks obvious?
I'm guessing maybe D5 for black.
Yeah, D5 is probably the only one. You see this funny Queen B8 move. That's to get the queen on the get it off the C file. So if we ever decide to play D5, so we're going to play a little prophylactically here. We're going to take some squares away, and I think what White wanted to do was maybe put a piece here, a bishop here, or a knight here. So I think one of the general rules you need to know here is that when you have a cramped structure, and when I say cramped, I'm not that cramped. It's just more of a solid structure. But one of the things you can do is if the more pieces you trade off, the less cramped you become. Okay? So, okay. So now White has to come up with something. So now he's actually put all his pieces, and so now he's retreating a little bit. And so the question is, do we want to trade off material, or do we want to try for something else? We want to make it a little more complicated. You know what? We're going to go ahead and trade. And I think this is just going to be one of those grinded out type of games. So,
Yeah.
so here you see this pawn here. That's the advantage of the structure for black, is that it's hard to play C5. So our opponent's playing very solidly here. And so let's go ahead and get these guys off. TBD. I bet I'll bet this person's probably rated at least. Is definitely rated over 1800. I think it's over 1900 maybe. What do you think, Rohan? Do you smell a rat here?
I think so. Yeah, he's playing pretty well. Like, yeah, I don't think he's made a mistake yet.
And I mean rat in the very nicest way possible. Absolutely nicest way. It's a compliment, actually, because what I'm actually referring to is someone who's a ringer, someone who's actually a lot better than we think they are. So here we have this weak C pawn. So I think, D5 unfortunately would just trade off everything, and it might just lead to a draw. So we're going to go for more, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Go for it.
So what do you think are some options here?
Maybe just like knight e4. Try to get control of the e4 square. Trade off some more pieces.
Yeah, but that makes it harder to. I'm going to play this move. We have an alert in the chat. Catalina Renee is in the house. That is breaking news. She really wants a revenge matchup. So anyway, just want to throw that out there. Little breaking news. And now we're actually making it hard for White. One of the reasons I didn't play 94 is that White would have traded off the pieces right away. And I'm trying to make White come up with some ideas of his own. So we're going to make it a little tough. Okay, bishop d4, okay? All right. So what do you think White's idea is behind playing bishop d4?
I think he's just trying to get c5 in, because that's his only pawn break.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, yeah.
So Rohan, you're supposed to take me the way. Show me. What am I supposed to do?
I think maybe it's knight d7.
Knight d7?
Stop c5?
Sure,
Wait,
possible.
I guess it trades again.
Possible.
Let's see. Unless there's some tactics here.
Tactics?
It seems like there are, but
I don't see any tactics.
sure.
I think this is
I don't
pretty
see any.
dry. I'm thinking about e5 maybe, but then I'm not sure what I do after that. I don't really want to. I don't want to kill my bishop like this.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely don't want him to. I don't want to allow him to play c5. There's, sometimes in chess you get positions like this where it's not obvious what you're supposed to do.
What about a move like Queen F5 or something?
And what's the idea of that?
Actually, that isn't even, I guess to guard against C5 some more. But yeah, I'm actually not sure what to do for black here.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard choice to make here. I know what I'm going to play. I have an idea. We're going to play queen here. And this preserves the option of maybe playing knight to d7 or knight to e4. It's still there. But I just, the problem is if these bishops get traded, the knight all of a sudden comes to d4 and it's well placed. So I'm not really thrilled. I'm not thrilled with that possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And did we pause? Okay, yeah, my clock wasn't moving. ChessKid clock wasn't moving. Okay. And my clock is still not moving on my screen at least, and now it moved again. So yeah, we might have to have a little bit of a lag issue here.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, so this is sort of a little bit of a game of chicken, so to speak, because each side is waiting for the other to do something. And Rohan, my clock is frozen again. How much time do you show for me?
It says 118.
118, huh? Okay.
On the live board, yeah.
Yeah, well, mine's still 118, and his is still 153.
His is 120, like 122 right now.
Oh, so on mine it doesn't show that. That's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and I think my internet is frozen because I can't move. I'll try refreshing.
Really? Yeah.
Because
you have like 50 seconds left.
Yeah, not on mine. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try that again. All right, we're gonna have to move a little faster here. We're gonna have to mix things up. We're gonna have to make it so it's not so easy for him. So we're gonna play h6. And so I did that because I don't want the knight going to g5. Not that that was a big deal, but I want to play queen e6. And so basically I took some space here by playing this move. So hopefully I don't lag out here.
Yeah. Could you possibly be going for the idea like queen e6, like b5?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ideas I'm looking for here. The problem is that it's just kind of easy. Well, I mean, this is just going to take a little bit of going back and forth here. So, all right, so is my opponent down to 38 seconds?
He has 40 seconds now because of the increment. But yeah.
Oh, he moved. What did he just play?
He went rook d2.
Oh my gosh. Okay, something's wrong with my internet, so I probably should have rebooted or something. But okay, so here we're going to guard this guy now, and now I think unfortunately White moved both of his rooks away from the c pawn. So now he's going to lose that pawn there, and so maybe he'll play. If he plays rook c1, I have queen e6, right? And I'm still defending this a pawn here. So yeah, so our opponent. This is actually the closest game anyone's played so far in terms of like after 28 moves or 6 moves or whatever, it was that close. All right, so now our opponent is getting a little bit getting tactical, huh, Rohan?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a fork.
Okay, so what do I have to play here?
Well, you could. I was looking at 94, but I don't think it works. Probably just rook c6.
Yeah, let's play. Let's take the consistent thing. Uh-oh.
6.
Okay, so we're gonna play a little faster here.
Yeah, both have 8 seconds around there.
our opponent is very good, isn't he? You can tell you can tell they're a
Yeah.
good player.
Even in this time scramble, he's not like blundering
Nope, he's
too
not.
crazy.
No, he's not at all.
So he's keeping it interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yep, that was a nice tactic with the e5 right there.
Yeah,
Just go recheck.
he tried to trick
Just
us.
learning it. So that's a fork. Knight f3.
Oh my god, almost flagged.
Yeah. 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 I think he had like 0.7 seconds or something.
Yeah,
left.
wow. That was a
Close.
great game,
Good
TBG.
game.
I want to know who this is. Divulge yourself in the chat. We want to know. We want to know who this is. I want to know who these guys are. Okay, so let's going to go to the next one. And please do not challenge me. I will challenge you. Steady Peach. Every time we play, I think it's a Caro-Kann. I'm pretty sure of that. Let's try. Okay, Steady Peach. And then the next person we're going to play is Yihan Basis. So make sure that you're ready to play when it's time. All right, so we're going to have another Caro-Kann. What is this? I promise I did not teach this to this person. All right, we're gonna play a little bit different. We're gonna play the advanced variation today. Okay, and so the idea, what's the idea of the advanced variation? Do you think, Rohan?
So I think it's to get more space in the center, and maybe it's like a little easier to develop for white. And playing against that light squared bishop of black's, which I think is trapped right now.
Yeah, he fell for a little trap. I fell for this exact trap before. I'm sorry, Steady Peach. This is a tough trap here. Unfortunately, the bishop gets trapped. If the bishop goes back to g6, you have h5. So if we just go back for a second, in this position, the move I like here is either h5 or queen b6. So let's go back just 1 second. In this position, after h4, oops, can't do that. I gotta, if instead of e6, I think queen b6 is one idea, and if g4, what happens is you kick the bishop back here, and then you end up playing e6 and c5. It's like an advanced French, except one of the problems is that the pawns are really far advanced here. So okay. So here unfortunately, black. So that's a good trap to learn from. I'm sorry, Steady Peach, it was at your expense, but it is a really good lesson to learn. I'm glad you're coming every single week to play. That shows really good dedication. And one of these times we'll make sure you get white or something, because I feel like I'm always getting white against you. So next time I challenge you, I'm going to make it so that I had just played white, so I have to get black. So not make you get in trouble in the opening. Okay, so now what? So we're just going to develop our pieces, Rohan. So what's one of the biggest things that you can get in trouble with when you're up in material? What's the danger?
So maybe your opponent can get some counterplay sometimes. Like maybe in this case, white could use the c file because that's where he like sacked his bishop. But you just have to be a little careful.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that you have to be, even though I want a piece for a pawn, these pawns are not exactly what we're used to in positions like this. So maybe you can try to take advantage of trying to open the center. The problem here is that black got in trouble. And then what's my best move here, Rohan?
I think probably just take the knight on a6, give him double pawns.
I think we have a lot better than that.
Just bishop a5 actually.
Yeah, bishop a5 unfortunately drops the queen. Probably had to play king e7 last turn. So yeah, unfortunately now this is unfortunate for black. But again, one mistake can always get you in trouble. So, but I'm actually really happy that that people keep coming back to play, because it really shows a good attitude in wanting to learn and just say, hey, I don't care if I lose. I'm learning from the experience. So, so keep playing and stuff, and keep practicing, and our Steady Peach has never wavered from playing the Caro-Kann. So all right, so Rohan, I know it's very early in the morning. Um,
Yeah,
I know it's
almost
very
noon.
early in the morning for you because you college kids go to bed so early. Just kidding.
Especially now. It's
Especially now, I know
crazy
there's
because
so much to
there's
do.
so much to do at home. Like
Well, you could be playing chess all day. What's wrong with that?
I could, yeah, but yeah, there's only so much chess you can play. Like once you start losing some games, then it kind of dwindles down. But
You know what I
yeah, it's always
hate is
fun.
when you lose in the closest Sicilian. That's just absolutely brutal.
Oh yeah, I know firsthand.
It's
That's
so
firsthand
brutal,
experience.
so brutal. So yeah, I mean, we're just up a lot of material here, and so we're just not really even trying to. We're not really asking for commentary here, just because we're just this game is pretty much over. But I think these are good lessons to learn. Rohan, what's the reason as your former coach?
Hmm.
What is the reason I taught you the Kiro Khan? Why did I teach that to you?
So it was pretty solid. Like, and there wasn't really too much theory. It was very logical on where you develop your pieces and how do you like get the center or
Uh
try
huh.
to challenge the center.
Uh huh.
So
And it's also positional, right? I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that I showed it to you was because I wanted you to learn some positional ideas, right?
yeah, it is. There's not too many tactics as I've learned,
Yeah,
and I
it's
don't know
more of
how
a
much I
solid
like
line,
that,
more of a
but
solid line. All right, Yihan
yeah.
basis, let's go. I still want to know what a tiny sparkly frog is. I think that person's next if they're ready to play. All right, Yihan basis, let's go.
All right, so Johan basis.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and play. We've always been playing the Roy Lopez. Let's play the Italian game. Rohan, are you familiar with the Italian game?
Wait. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, just lagged for a second.
That's
Yeah, I'm
okay.
kind of familiar with it. I know
Yeah,
the general setup.
yeah. So what normally what a really good system if you don't want to memorize a lot of theory is basically put your pawn here, play d3 castles, put your rook on e1, move your knight over to d2 into f1, and it's a very very solid structure. But actually, we're going to go for something a little more exciting. We're going to try this. This actually has a lot of theory, and we'll see how Yihan Basis does with this. I'm going to play something called um, assuming he plays the right move here, I'm going to play what's called the Muller attack, which is quite involved in the theory. Um, and so this knight c3 move. So Rohan, have you seen this before?
I have, yeah. So if knight takes d4 is actually a mistake, I think.
It's not a mistake. It's the best
Uh,
move, but it's not a
or
mistake.
sorry, not here. Yeah, yeah, not here. But yeah, there's a lot of theory here. So after, okay, so that's not the best move, I think.
So what's the problem with taking a knight like this? Like what's the downside of that?
So it kind of allows you to reinforce your center, the d4 pawn,
Uh huh.
and if he takes on e4, he might run into some problems on the e file because he's not
Right.
castled yet.
Well, yeah,
So
but I mean, I think one of the downsides of playing bishop takes c3 check here is that I wasn't threatening to take the bishop. So you've lost a tempo. Like, in other words, you could have taken this pretty much at any time. I mean, that's not always the situation, but of course, um, so
yeah.
okay, so um, so yeah, the idea here is if knight takes e4, you play this move d5. If I castle instead, that's actually an error because then black could have played d5 himself, and then black's actually just better. But here, what happens here is that when you're gonna if you sacrifice material in chess, especially with a gambit or something like that, just remember that you're you're on the onus is on you to try to be as aggressive as possible. And so if you just simply like castling here would be a mistake because there's no reason not to play a more aggressive move like this. I mean, you're hitting the knight, you're hitting the pawn, okay? And black has to do something about that.
Hmm.
So
Uh, is this still theory, by the way? I think this doesn't look right from what I know
for who?
for black.
Yeah, this is not the best move. He shouldn't have taken on c3 so quickly. So What do
Yeah.
you think of the candidate moves here, do you think? What are the attacking ideas?
Um, so the first move that comes to mind is d6. So
Uh-huh.
try to open up the bishop on c4, maybe get some knight g5 ideas,
Okay.
or maybe bishop g5,
Yeah, bishop g5,
maybe
okay.
to double. Um,
What's the most aggressive of
because I
all of
think
those moves? Which is the most provocative?
probably d6.
Yeah, I think we got to go d6. And the idea of
Because I
playing
think black.
d6 is that that pawn can't move, right? And so what does that mean?
So his bishop can't get out. So I think that's what black's like kind of threat was in the previous position to go d6 himself.
Exactly. Good. And
Now we're
that's
stopping
exactly
that.
right. So you guys prophylactic chess thinking tells us that if you know what other someone wants to do next turn, then you take away their option by going here. Okay? And now we could take the pawn or we don't really have to. I'm still toying with the idea of maybe playing bishop a3 at some point. Um, maybe I don't think queen takes is really that good right away because I think knight f5 actually would kick my queen and he have a quick queen e7 here. So I'm gonna go. Um, I'm gonna castle, even though I don't think that's the right move. I'm not sure what the right move is, but in blitz, you just kind of have to go with the flow. Um, but uh, white's actually down 2 pawns. We didn't really say that before, but one of them is doubled, so I don't really count that one. Um, and so let's go. Let's go rook e1. So Rohan, what do you think of the move queen c7?
I personally would have liked to go d5 instead to try
Uh-huh.
to get d6
And after
after.
d5, what would you have played? If
Um,
white moves the bishop somewhere, what would have happened?
then black would go d6
Or he would have castled, right? I mean, I think what
or
just
cat.
got
Yeah,
black into big trouble was the fact that he did not castle.
yeah.
That's
I
the
think queen
problem.
c7 was a big mistake.
Yeah. And so yeah, losing that, I mean, obviously losing a piece isn't good, but remember, try to follow the general principles in chess. It's one of the most common mistakes that people make is they think, "Oh, I don't have to follow the rules." Yes, you do. Until you're like probably a 2000 or 2100 player, you need to follow the rules like all the time. And then only occasionally do you break the rules if there's a tactical justification for doing it. So, all right. So now what? So now, unfortunately,
So
this pawn can't move, so the bishop can't get out. And then, all right, so he's going to go there. So we have to move the rook or defend it somehow. Rohan, any ideas?
um, I'll probably just move it, I think, and
Yeah,
then
I
maybe
think,
go bishop f4 after.
yeah. Let's just go ahead and save the rook. Don't try to be too fancy. And you're right. I think bishop f4 is a good tempo. It gains a tempo on the queen.
Yeah, and again, black's light squared bishop is still stuck because after
Yeah.
queen d6, it's even harder to get it out.
So that shows the
So
advantage of sacrificing material, right?
yeah, got lots of good compensation in
Yeah.
return.
And as you guys probably do not know, but I know, Rohan hates to sacrifice material. So it actually has to like lead to a forced win for him to do it. So for Rohan to sack material has to really be something. Although
Has
I
to be
think he's
really,
gotten a
really
little
good.
better on that.
A little bit, yeah. Still have
So,
to work on it
so
because
here he wants to trade queens, right? So normally I would
yeah.
say yes, we should trade queens, but I think we need to go for more. But I'm not sure how to do that. I think we're going to go here.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't really want to take Rohan. Why do you think? Why didn't I really want to take?
Well, because you're down material, you're down. You're still down 2 pawns. So
No,
if
no,
you
no. I'm
trade
up a piece.
queens,
Remember?
there's. Oh, I forgot you took a piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
So no, I just didn't want to make his pawns
Yeah.
better. Although truthfully, I could have traded and played Bishop D6, and that would have forked these guys. So maybe a slight error on my part. But um, what I'm threatening here is to take him and give him a second set of double pawns. So he'd have doubled F pawns, and he'd also have double D pawns. All right, so bishop
Yeah.
d6 we're going to go ahead and play.
B6, yep.
And now his only move is what?
So he has to work D8.
Yeah.
Or I guess he could develop his bishop now if he wants to sack the exchange.
Yeah, all right.
Because, you know.
And I'm quite confident Johan Basis will not fall for the back rank checkmate. Okay, he didn't. All right, we're going to go.
Now bishop E7.
Yeah, bishop E7, which is a little scary for him. And how much time are you showing for him?
This is 42 seconds for him.
Well, it's been 42 for a little bit, so maybe he's lagging or something.
Yeah. Well, it's your turn right now. You have 1 minute left.
Oh, he moved.
Right?
Oh, he moved. Gosh, my
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so,
Ooh, it's rook.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, and so now it's almost checkmate. Knight to f5 is threatens checkmate. So here.
Yep. Just get your pieces in the attack.
Yep. Continue to bring all your pieces in the game. See how all my pieces are doing well here.
Yep. I just need the last one too, maybe if you need it.
Yep.
Maybe rook e3, rook h3 coming.
Yep. So
Rohan, it's just mate in 1 or 2, I guess.
What's the mate here?
So just knight e7, guard the rook and discovery. So
knight e7, f5, and then bishop takes his mate. But also rook g7 and rook e8 is also mate. But I like your idea because I think it brings all the pieces in the game.
Yep.
And he got there. So okay. So who is next? Okay. Please do not challenge us. We'll try to Tiny Sparkly Frog. Sparkly Frog, are you ready to go? Okay.
So
what just happened?
Okay. So yeah, I think this is gonna be the last game that I actually can commentate on because the graduation is gonna start at 12.
Okay. All right. Well, Rohan, thank you for joining us today, and we're gonna go ahead and try to see if we get one more game in here. And Hodges are us.
Cool.
So Rohan, give everybody your email address again, just so if they want to contact you for lessons locally.
So should I just type it in the chat, actually?
Yeah, type it in the chat and tell everybody orally.
So, yeah, my email's in the chat. So it's armatal41@email.arizona.edu. You can also actually just send me a direct message on chess.com. My username is coach123456. That's also in the chat. And yeah, I'll respond to you, and we can talk about some more details if you're interested.
Great.
So.
All right, Rohan. So this is our first chance to go after our opponent a little bit here with a little bit of tactics. Any suggestions?
Let's see.
Tactics, Rohan. Tactics.
Well, I'm looking at knight takes c6 and e5.
Yeah, let's go for it. It's Friday. Let's have some fun.
Tactics. Yep.
So, Rohan, what's the problem with this?
So even though it looks like it loses a pawn, you have bishop takes f7 to remove the guard of the queen on d8.
Yeah. Now, if I take first, Black's idea I think is takes, and if bishop takes, e6 traps this bishop here, and this king can go here to win it. Unfortunately, what do you do in tactics? Always change the move order. So play the second move first and the first move second, and then all of a sudden, now you see, now all of a sudden we lose the guard, and the queen falls. So yeah, always pay attention. A slight mistake in the opening, and that's why I paused, because I've seen similar type of traps before. Interesting. So our opponent is thinking, if we go ahead and take this guy, I'll win this queen. The problem is I can take this first, and unfortunately, that's kind of a hoping type of move. But again, when you're down a queen, it's really tough. So, okay,
He's kind of just losing all his
yeah,
pieces
he's losing his pieces.
at this point.
Yeah. Well, you know what happens in times in chess is that one bad move leads to another, and it's sometimes it's like you don't even know what happened to you in chess. Sometimes you're like, whoa, how did I just get in trouble?
Yep, chess is hard,
Chess is very
very
difficult.
complicated sometimes.
Yeah. But Rohan, you're going to make master soon, aren't you?
I think so. Yeah, once
Once what?
some more tournaments open up.
Once what? You're going to
Well,
start
once I
studying though, aren't
once.
you? Aren't you going to start studying?
Oh yeah, no, I've been studying like pretty much every day
Uh huh.
so far, but yeah, definitely need to play some tournaments once it's back up.
I want a lie detector test. I want to know if that's truly the case or Rohan is just feeding his old coach some baloney.
No, no, it's kind of true. Like I would probably
Kind of
spend
true. So now you're
like
saying
an
it's kind
hour
of
or two,
true.
maybe a day. I know it's not like as much as I should be, but it's a good start.
Uh huh. Okay. Well, I'm just busting your chops just a little bit here.
Oh yeah, I know. As
Yeah.
always,
So Rohan,
with all
thank you,
your students
thank you
too.
seriously for joining us today. We want to thank the Southern Arizona Chess Association for having Rohan do this. We're doing this completely on a volunteer basis. We're just trying to provide an opportunity for people to play some chess, and given the circumstances, just trying to get more people playing, and hopefully when tournaments do resume, that everyone will come back that much stronger. So thanks for joining us, Rohan, and I'm going to continue to
Awesome.
play a couple more people. Um,
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
of course, you're welcome. All right,
All right,
so
bye
let's go
everyone.
to um, we'll go to Public Friend. I'm pretty sure I played Public Friend before. Public Friend, are you there? No, Public Friend is not there. Ivory Oat, did I play you today? Hard to remember. Whoever accepts me first. Okay, Ivory Oat, you are here, buddy. All right, so So we're gonna. I don't actually remember what I've played against Ivory Oak before, so we're just gonna go ahead and go back to our roots, our old roots, the old beginnings of chess, and play a little e4, e5, which is something that almost every uh, child student learns when they first start playing chess because it's part of the basics of chess. And this is called the Roy Lopez, and uh, basically White has developed two pieces so far, and um, White's developed two pieces, and he just gave up one of them to take this and give me some double pawns. And so now we're kind of play. This line is actually known to be very, very equal and very solid. Um, and it often results in the queens coming off the board, which is what we're going to play here. So we're going to kind of play a line in which the queens come off really fast, and um, so all right. So what do we got here? Any choices? Do we have any discoveries with this bishop here on this? Probably the knight can just move. It's probably not worth it. So let's go ahead and fianchetto our bishop. Try to put our bishop on a good square there. So if you go back in chess and study some of the classics, these are definite classics. These are things that everybody should learn as part of their chess education, is to make sure that you get pieces on the right squares. Um, and just kind of learn the difference between having the two bishops versus an inferior pawn structure. There's advantages to both of this stuff. I'm just trying to put all my pieces on good squares here. And Ivory Oat is playing some very good chess so far. The question is, so are we able to sort of mix it up a little bit here? So one of the things you have to know is when you do have the two bishops, okay, the one thing that you want to do as the person with the two bishops is to open up the game, okay? And opening up the game involves moving pawns. Now that by itself doesn't open up the game, but f5 does. And so by playing f5, now now we were actually threatening to play f4 and trap the bishop. So now we have a choice. We can take, if we take with the knight, if you notice real closely, we're actually going to get the bishop pair. The question is do I want the bishop pair or do I like this better? And I really like that pawn. It's a little bit on the juicy side. And it's kind of tough to defend that pawn with anything substantial. I mean, if rook c1, the problem with rook c1 is it allows the rook to go to d2. Now he went ahead and traded, and unfortunately I think that's a mistake because now you see this file I own here, and this pawn's here, this pawn hanging, and look at how good this bishop is. So black went from sort of a solid structure and just nothing special to all of a sudden all of black's pieces are good. So the lesson I want you guys to learn out of this is that when you have an open position, make sure you try to open it up to the advantage of your bishops, okay? So kind of a basic lesson, but it's something that people forget. And the chess comes down to the basics. That's all there is to it. You got to know the basics. You got to know when is it good to have a bishop versus a knight. When is it good to make a good trade and not a bad trade? Do you trade a piece that's doing nothing for a piece that's good? That's good. But if you have a piece that's really, really good and you take a piece that has no significance, you better have a really good reason for doing something like that. So unfortunately, so now all of a sudden, white is now starting to spend a lot of time because he's seeing that there's not a lot he can do. This knight and these knights are kind of stymied in a lot of ways. That's probably the best move on the board. It does create a threat. But I'm just going to go ahead and move the knight somewhere. I'm going to go, I could play knight to d5, but I'm going to go for the, what am I going to do here? What's my opponent thinking of doing here? Besides the obvious of playing rook takes e7. Maybe he's going to go here, bishop here, and try to trade off the pieces. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play prophylactically. I'm going to stop this move from being played, okay, because I have two pieces here. Can't play rook e7 because the knight's here, okay? And you see how this bishop here is stymied? There's nowhere to go, okay? This knight here, if this knight moves away, then all of a sudden I win this pawn. So this is what we call playing prophylactically in chess, is where you try to take away your opponent's options, okay? And then, when it's time to try to increase the advantage. Here I'm going to go ahead and take because I'm giving him double pawns, but more importantly, I'm getting my rook to the 7th rank. You see that? And now I'm threatening to win this pawn. Okay, a little tactical thing. Rook e2 or rook d1 would be a bad move. Why? See if you can see it. Rook e2 or rook d1 is bad. If you want to pause the stream, you can try to see if you can figure it out for yourself before I tell the answer. And that's it. So if he does play either of the rook moves to e2 or to d1, I would have played bishop takes c3. So, okay, so here we're going here. And now he's got to be careful because if he moves his rook here, he's got back rank problems. Now, I can't go there right away because he's got a knight there, okay? But I do have the classic remove the defender, remove the guard, okay? And that gets out of that. So yeah, white has a hard time. Is going to hard move to find here. I don't really see a way out. The same trick, by the way, applies if rook e2. I have bishop takes c3. So he did this, so I take him here. And if he takes, I've got a back ranker. Yeah. So yeah, those were very good games today. I really had what came the closest. One of the closest games we've had so far was against TBD, and let's see. I have time for one game. All right, Bold Stylish Cake. We're going to play, and this will be the last game we play today. And I do want to thank the Southern Arizona Chess Association again for putting this on. I want to thank Rohan Mittal for doing this, and I'm sure we will have Jonathan Martinez, help us in a future telecast, hopefully next week, depending on if it's done with finals and stuff. and he doesn't want too much of a break. But we'll be having some form of Beat the Coach next week. We'll let you know who that's going to be. And I do want to remind everybody that that's the Southern Arizona Chess Association actually has multiple events played every single week online. So ChessKid has, in addition to Beat the Coach on Friday, has ChessKid Blitz tournaments on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then chess.com has a lecture on some Wednesdays, depending on if we have people available to do it. And there's a Thursday night Blitz tournament on chess.com, which starts at 6:30. The Thursday night Blitz tournament starts at 6:30 on Thursday nights, Arizona time, and we've had some really good participation. People are not even people from Arizona are logging on to play just because they are starting to see how strong it is. And we've got some masters playing, which is great, and all that. So this is kind of an old line, actually. This knight takes e4 line. Most people think the move is knight takes f7 here, but actually, if you in this position, if you were to go knight takes f7, queen h4 is very, very deadly. Black is already doing really, really well there. It's very old analysis. I remember studying that as a kid, dating back to like the 1960s or something. Yeah, so unfortunately here, taking this guy drops the queen. So black fell for a little bit of a trap. This is called the fried liver. And so against knight g5, the best move against knight g5 is d5. And then if pawn takes pawn, last week in the beat the coach thing, we had knight takes d5 in a game, but actually we taught everybody that knight a5 was good. So, okay, good move. Well, thank you, Bold Stylish Cake. Bold Stylish Cake is one of those people that has played, I think, almost every single week. So it's good to see everybody continuing to come back and go for more and try to get better and better and better as the school year finishes. And frankly, the summer is like right here. So don't be scared to play a little chess this summer. You can always play online until the tournaments come back, and make sure yes, thumbs up, baby, thumbs up. Exactly. So try to play as many tournaments as you can. SACA, the Southern Arizona Chess Association, is trying to fill that void for people that don't have something to play in. And I'm glad that so many people are taking us up on it. And we're going to try to make sure more people play and stuff, and so all of you can learn and all that. So appreciate you guys all tuning in. Play a little en passant there. And so now it's just a matter of black has two pieces for the queen, so I just have to continue to put the pressure on. And I'm threatening obviously take the bishop. And the next thing is that queen's well placed, knight's well placed. What's next? The rooks. The rooks have to be involved. So I could take here, but I'm going to go ahead and keep the pieces on the board for a little bit longer. Because I don't really see a need to do it right away. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. So now, unfortunately, black's in trouble because now the rook is hanging, or the rook and the bishop are forked, frankly. So one of them is going to drop. And so we're going to take this guy. What's the difference between a stylish cake and a bold stylish cake? That's what I want to know. Like, there's got to be something that's going on here with there's got to be a backstory to this whole thing. I'll bet you anything. There's definitely a backstory to this. And I was just alerted to the fact that chess.com has started a club event type of thing. So you can join our club on chess.com, and we're going to be trying to be playing in events with other clubs around the country. You don't actually have to be here to be in that. But if you'd like to, you can go ahead and sign up for the Southern Arizona Chess Association Club, and make sure that you enjoy that stuff. Smiley face, yes, I'll give you a smiley face back. Thanks for playing, and I do appreciate everybody for coming on today. It's really a fun. It's great to have everybody tune in and stuff. If I didn't get to you today, I'm very very sorry, but I promise we'll try to get you next time. And it's just so wonderful to see old faces, but also new people that are trying us out and stuff. And TBD, I want to know who you are. I want to know who you are. I want you to come back with a vengeance next week because you played very very well today, and I just got in a little bit of trouble because of time. But you're definitely a good player for sure. So thanks all for tuning in today. Thanks for the Southern Chess Association for having us, and we are out of here. Thank you.